This is Blue Gold News Now, your spot for current events, campus news, and everything in between. Now live from Tower Studio, it's BNN with your hosts, Alex Rubio and Marissa Day.
Good evening, I'm Alex Rubio.
And I'm Marissa Day.
Coming up tonight,
UW-EC Student Body President Brett Farmer joins us on BNN Talkback.
And your BNN Blitz updates on the world of Blue Gold athletics.
But first, CASA is looking for on-call volunteers. The Center for Awareness of Sexual Assault, or CASA, is currently looking for on-call volunteers to operate their 24/7 crisis line. CASA advocate Hannah Lidke is looking specifically for coverage in the evenings and over weekends and holidays. The crisis line is an important resource on the UW-EC campus for victims of sexual violence, as well as friends, family members, and anyone with a concern. Crisis line volunteers can answer questions or provide support and advocacy to anyone who may call. Incoming volunteers would receive a full crisis line training in May. This position can also be used to satisfy your service learning requirements. Interested students should contact Hannah via email at casa@uwec.edu or check Blue Gold Connect Plus for more information about volunteering.
Tuition was set to increase by a unanimous vote by the Wisconsin Board of Regents on April 4th. The vote was to increase tuition by 3.75% for the academic year of 2024 through 2025, and comes as a shock, this being the second year tuition has increased after a decade-long freeze. This 3.75% tuition increase is only for undergraduates, but similar tuition increases for graduate and non-resident students were also approved, but those values will vary by university. The tuition hikes are said to be essential to fight off rising inflation and combat economic challenges. Multiple different organizations within the UW system will be receiving funding thanks to this increase in tuition, including the Chancellor of UW-Eau, who will be receiving a 6% pay increase. This is set to take effect to match the recent 6% pay increase all UW employees are receiving. Many students have found this increase upsetting, and our friends over at The Spectator have done the math on what these increases will look like. The cost for undergraduates will increase to $9,783, which is 5.5% higher than the 2023 through 2024 academic year.
Coming up after the break, how one UW-EC sorority helped raise money for children in need.
And a look into the National Collegiate Table Tennis Championships hosted at UW-Eau.
Last week, Alpha Xi Delta hosted a fundraiser outside of Davies to raise money for children experiencing homelessness. Take a look.
The proceeds from the fundraiser are going towards the Kindly Hearts Initiative, along with the Eau Claire Area School District Homeless Program. Greta Sterning mentions what the proceeds will be going towards for Eau Claire.
Everything that's made from the bake sale, raffle items, the flowers and mac and cheese sale will be put towards purchasing hygiene products, clothing, toys, school supplies for kids in the Eau Claire Area School District Homeless Program.
I also spoke with a student and got their thoughts on the fundraiser.
I think it's amazing because people don't always think about kids always being homeless. Like you always see adults and things, but there's lots of kids, especially in your everyday school district, that don't have homes or they're bouncing from foster home to foster home. So these proceeds are really going to help them.
Although the proceeds are going towards a more serious cause, Greta Sterning discusses her favorite thing about the fundraiser.
My favorite part is just probably the teeter. It is so unique. It is so fun. Sometimes it's super silly. It's just a good time to be together with the chapter and show our support on campus for our local philanthropy.
Greta also goes on to talk about the impact this fundraiser has on campus.
I think it just brings the campus more awareness to the Eau Claire Area School District Homeless Program and the impact that we want to make, and also the impact that they can make on their community as well. I think it's a really good outlet to donate to a really great cause that impacts the local Eau Claire community. outside of just the campus.
As the fundraiser came to an end, Alpha Zeta Delta was able to meet their goals for both the Kindly Hearts Initiative and for the Eau Claire Area School District Homeless Program. I spoke with Taylor Larson about goals for future Teeter fundraisers.
We're hoping to not only raise money and have our fundraiser be successful, but also to spread awareness of this issue. And yeah, hopefully more students will come together next year.
Reporting for Blue Gold News Now, I'm Samantha Burnett.
Thanks, Sam. If you're interested in continuing to help children around the nation or locally in Eau Claire, make sure to check out the Kindly Hearts Initiative and the Eau Claire Area School District Homelessness Program. How about that, Alex? What a creative fundraiser.
Exactly, and what a fun way to fundraise as well. It's so interesting. And even in one of those shots, I was passing by and you just see blue going up and down on a teeter-totter. It's just a fun little fundraiser, and what a great organization to raise money for.
Well, totally, and it's really fun because I remember seeing the teeter-totter right away last year, and they do it every year, and it's one of those things that's kind of a staple Eau Claire event. Exactly. But speaking of Eau Claire events, I think there's one that's not quite as frequent that it happens here. It's a little bit more rare.
Exactly. If you saw any Ivy League jerseys around campus this past weekend, you may have glimpsed some national champion table tennis players.
BNN reporter Willow Polish stopped by the National Collegiate Table Tennis Association Championships this weekend, a big title event that aspired to put Eau Claire table tennis on the map.
The three-day event was held in McPhee and spanned Friday, April 12th through Sunday, April 14th, taking over the building with over 300 competitors. This marks the third time in history Eau Claire has hosted the event, after previously hosting in 2017 and 2015. Over 50 different universities from across the U.S. attended the tournament, along with the 4 members of the Eau Claire table tennis team. Eau Claire paddled their way into 2 wins and 2 losses in their matches against table tennis competitors from Cornell, Emory College, Boston University, and Duke. The overall champions were from California and Texas for singles, and for the doubles, the teams were from Texas and Indiana. Coach and advisor Jijong Ji says he's proud of his team's new best record at the national tournament, and he was happy the university was able to host this event.
As a table tennis club, we have a smaller team of 4 members. We were able to, as a partially involved hosting university club, we just feel very as an honor and as a pleasure to be involved, to be engaged.
Next year, the event is slated to be held in Rockford, Illinois. Coach G wanted to thank the university for its robust support and the sports facility and recreation department for helping throughout the season.
April is STI Awareness Month, and UW-Eau Claire's Student Health Services has found a special way to promote safety and awareness on campus. According to SHS, 1 in 4 college students will contract an STI during their college years. Oftentimes, STIs can be asymptomatic, and if left untreated can cause infertility, pelvic inflammatory disease, or other health complications. From now until the end of April, SHS is offering a discount on chlamydia and gonorrhea testing, encouraging students at UW-EC to take advantage of the discounted rate to know their status and maintain safe practices. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit uwec.edu/student-health-services.
Some local Eau Claire kids were helping out cancer research by running a classic lemonade stand. The kids recently set up their lemonade stand over at the Schneels here in Eau Claire to support the Guarding Against Cancer golf outing. Some Schneels employees found the kids' goals inspirational and their cause essential. That next week, Schneels had a check ready to go for the kids for $10,000. I do hope they got at least 1 glass of fresh lemonade for that donation. But the kids were elated and taken back by their generosity of the employees and the generosity they showed that day. All of the proceeds of the lemonade stand will be going to cancer research at the Carbone Cancer Research and Treatment Center over in Madison and be used to find better vaccines and treatment to combat cancer.
We are approaching that time of year where we are beginning to say our goodbyes to those who are graduating in the spring. This includes our current student body president, Brett Farmer.
Here's BNN reporter Kevin Miro with some insights about the life and legacy of President Brett Farmer.
Thanks, Alex and Marissa. This spring at the graduation ceremony of the College of Arts and Science, student body president Brett Farmer will take part in his last event as a Blue Gold. I went and talked to him and reflected with him on what he has done in his time as a Blue Gold. He's been everywhere. The current student body president, captain of the swim team, a campus ambassador, an admissions intern, an honor student, and studying abroad. Brett Farmer has done it all. The senior, who will take part in the graduation ceremony, is looking ahead to his future at Northwestern University, where he will be doing his master's degree. Brett Farmer believes that he has left behind a positive impact on the university as a student. I spoke to him and asked him about what he thinks is his favorite memory here at Eau Claire.
Event that I participated in was probably in UAC when we planned Bryce Vine. It was like our first big concert back from the pandemic, and it was a blast. It was really fun. But I would also say probably starting a new commission in Student Senate was really, really cool.
That new commission is focused on health and well-being. Towards the end of the interview, I asked him to give some advice for incoming freshmen. He simply said to never doubt yourself. For Blue Gold News Now, this is Kevin Miro. Back to you, Alex and Marissa.
Thanks, Kevin. Later on in tonight's show, we'll have Brett here with us to speak more about his time at UW-EC and as student body president.
With the snow finally melting, we've seen many frisbees flying around Towers Field.
BNN reporter Tristan Weisler had the opportunity to sit down with some captains and coaches of the Frisbee team and get some insights about their time on the team.
Thanks, Alex and Marissa. Recently, I was able to sit down with the captain and coach of Eau Claire's combined Frisbee team to hear their perspective over the past year.
With the weather warming up, I headed down to Bollinger Field to learn more about UW-Eau Claire's club sports with the Frisbee teams. Today, I spoke with the coach of Seoul, the women's team, and one of the captains of Ozone, the male competitive team. First, starting with the women's coach, Nora Mitchell.
Seoul Ultimate Frisbee is a club sport here on campus. We participate in the USA Ultimate College Series and the North Central region, and we are a team for women and non-binary individuals. And the history of the team was founded originally around 2004 or 2005. In the beginning, there was only a men's team here on campus, and there were a handful of women that played with that men's team. And eventually they had enough players that they had enough to form their own team. So in Ultimate Frisbee, there are 7 players on the field at a time. And so originally there were only 7 players on the team. The name Seoul, S-O-L, comes from that. So 7 on the line is a Frisbee term, and that's how Seoul got their name.
Captain Connor McEwen had this to say about the team's progression this season.
We're really seeing our development team kind of like rise up from what it's been. So there was an initial developmental team around 2010 called O2, and that only lasted for about 1 year. But now we have Brozone, which has been lasting for about 3 or 4 years. Last season, we didn't get to see a full Brozone as we'd like to, but this year I'd say we've been pretty successful with the numbers and the guys that are coming out, and we're going to keep growing that. So having those 2 teams really helps to advance our competitive team a little bit more, so we can have kind of more focused practices with guys that have been playing for like 4, 5, 6, 7 years, because we're getting to a point where the high school programs in both Minnesota and Wisconsin are pretty big, and that allows us to progress players that have been playing for a long time.
Nora also explained how she helps the team foster a cohesive dynamic both on and off the field.
I think that's definitely a huge part of Ultimate is the communication and the camaraderie. So in terms of on-field things, we do cheers at every practice. We try to focus on communication and calling for the disc both in drills and in scrimmages, and also on uplifting each other as much as we can during points. During tournaments, for example, the sideline is very active, moving with the play as we move up and down the field, cheering and talking to our teammates. And then off the field, we often take these very long road trips together, so in the car bonding, and we do overnight tournaments over the whole weekend where people get to know each other really well. And I think that really kind of intensive time together, both on and off the field at tournaments, really helps to cement a lot of those bonds.
The men's captain also had this to say concerning upcoming Frisbee events.
Sure, so we've got sections coming up here this weekend, and then we have regionals in 3 weekends, and then the weekend after that we'll have our alumni weekend here in Eau Claire. So we'll have a game with the current Ozone team versus the alumni team called Old Zone, E-A-U-L-D, Old Zone, and then we'll have a mixed scrimmage with Soul Zone, which is the current both teams combined, and then the alumni both teams combined.
For Blue Gold News Now, I am Tristan Weisler.
Thanks, Tristan. BNN will return with your weather forecast.
And a BNN Blitz update on Blue Gold Sports after this short break.
Get ready for the ultimate variety experience. Handful is here to shake up your evenings with non-stop entertainment. From jaw-dropping performances to hilarious comedy sketches, Handful has something for everyone. Join us for the wild ride every week, filled with laughter, surprises, and unforgettable memories. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Handful.
Thank you, Alex and Marissa. Good evening. My name is Ellie Albrecht. This week and last week was amazing when it came to temperatures. We did have some rain, but the more we get, the better this year because our soil needs it. Today's temperature in Eau Claire was a high of 57 with a low of 35. It's not as nice as it was a few days ago, but we'll get back to that nice weather soon enough. Now looking at today's forecast around the upper Midwest, as you can see, there's a lot of 50s. The temperature was pretty constant around Minnesota and Wisconsin today. Minneapolis and Bloomington had highs of 54, Red Wing with a high of 57, Lake City with highs of reaching 56, Menominee and Chippewa Falls peaking at 58, and Eau Claire with a high of 57 today. If you look at the next 7 days, you'll see we're taking a dip down tomorrow and Saturday, but it will be rising back up to some wonderful temperatures soon, and hopefully it will stay like that. Many of you may be happy to know that we won't be getting much more rain in the coming days, except for Monday with a slight chance of rain in the morning. As for temperatures, we'll be enduring highs of 50s for a while until next Wednesday, when we'll start going back into the 60s. Our low temperatures aren't too bad, reaching as low as 29, and high being 39. Thank you so much for joining me for weather this evening. My name is Ellie Albrecht. Back to you, Alex and Marissa.
Thanks, Ellie. BNN Blitz is back this week with more Blue Gold sports updates.
Over to you, David and Eli.
Welcome to BNN Blitz, everybody. I'm your host, David Abel.
And I'm Eli Bennis. Welcome to your weekly recap of Blue Gold sports action. Over the weekend, UW-Eau Claire track competed in the UW-Platteville Invitational. The women's team took 4th place out of 13 schools, and the men's team took 5th place out of 14 schools. The women's team had 4 athletes place first, with Jaren Johansson winning the 400-meter hurdles with a time of 1 minute and 4 seconds. Kayla Benke in the discus at 44.50 meters, Tegan Jones in the hammer throw at 42.56 meters, and Emily Williams in the javelin at 36.21 meters. Jakob Akui was named Quick Trip Athlete of the Week for his win in the discus at 52.84 meters and taking second in shot put in the hammer throw at 17.60 meters and 58.46 meters. Sam Piontek, Kyle McClary, Connor Jankowski, and Stefan Kleshki took home second place in the 4x100 relay at 41.19 seconds. That time marked the fastest opener ran in that event in school history. The Blue Gold track will next compete in the Phil Essen Challenge April 19th and the 20th.
UW-Eau Claire's softball team took to the diamond over the weekend for their home opening series against the 20th ranked UW-Stevens Point Pointers, and the series did not disappoint. In Game 1, the Blue Gold snapped the Pointers' 12-game win streak with a 5-4 victory. After an intentional walk to load the bases, freshman Miranda Jernander landed a triple over the right fielder's head to give the Blue Golds the 5-4 lead, and the team held on from there. In Game 2, the Blue Golds led 4-2, headed into the top of the 7th inning, where the Pointers' offense came back to life, scoring 6 runs in the inning to win 8-6. The split brought the Blue Golds' record to 12-8.
Both UW-Eau Claire men and women's team earned victories and did so in impressive fashion. The men's team faced a conference opponent in UW lacrosse on Sunday, April 14th, and would end up winning 7-2. They won 5 out of 6 singles matches, with singles 1 Hunter Roseth defeating Cole Contardi, winning 2-1 and winning the last set 7-6. The women's team swept Wartburg College 9-0. Samantha Fox won singles 1, sweeping that match with both scores at 6-2. Doubles 1 Anna Lee and Samantha Fox cruised to a 8-3 victory. Blue Gold's tennis next faces Wheaton College on Saturday, April 20th.
After competing in 5 meets in the fall session of their season, the Blue Gold's women's golf team was back in the course at the Gussie Spring Invite in Hastings, Minnesota. The team finished 10th out of 11 teams, with Bree Novak leading the way for the team with a combined 2-day score of 176, including an 86 on day 2. UW-Eau Claire will compete at the Rumble at the Ridge this weekend, hosted by Bethel University. That's all for the World of Blue Gold Sports. I'm David Abel.
And I'm Eli Bennis. Back to you, Alex and Marissa.